countdown to elections continues. Welcome to InfoHub. President Granger says GDF's capabilities will be enhanced in the decade of development. Guyana's chairmanship of G77 gets full support from member countries, and fireworks display exhibition planned for historic First Oil. It is Thursday, January 16, and it's 38 days to our Golden Jubilee Republic anniversary. Thank you for joining us. Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President David Granger, today, while addressing the annual Guyana Defense Forces Officers Conference, outlined that the force's capabilities will be enhanced as the nation embarks on the decade of development.
The President noted that the GDF's overarching defense policy implies that all the elements of national power, diplomatic, economic, military, political, social, and technical, will be employed to reinforce defense and promote economic development. The head of state said that under the coalition, improvements in the technical corps, the Air, Engineer and Signal Corps and Coast Guard enhanced the force's agility and capability.
The force's recapitalization program has been boosted by increases in central government's budgetary allocations at great cost. You see the finance minister's squirming. The force has received financial resources to improve its capabilities. Budgetary allocations increased by more than 72.7% from $8.0 billion in 2014 to $13.9 billion in 2019.
The Commander-in-Chief explained that in the decade of development, the GDF's capacity will be enhanced.
The decade of development will incorporate policies to better equip the Defense Force to protect this country's natural resources on land and at sea. The Defense Force today, officers, is superior to what it was 5 years ago. Public confidence in its capabilities has been restored. National defense, as a consequence, has improved. These improvements will continue in the ensuing decade.
President Granger described the GDF as the guardian of the country's national patrimony, which is integral to its economic development.
Economic security is essential to national development. The people of this country can benefit from its bountiful resources only if they are protected. Officers Conference 2020, therefore, should consider the Defense Force's role in strengthening border and maritime defense and ensuring the economic development of our beloved country.
The Guyana Defense Force celebrates its 55th anniversary on November 1 this year. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
Guyana on Wednesday took over the chairmanship of the Group of 77 for the year 2020. At the formal handover, Palestinian Foreign Minister Riyad al-Malki, whose country chaired the group for 2019, passed the gavel to Prime Minister, the Honorable Moses Nagamutu.
Thank you very much for passing over the gavel to the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And I wish to now call the second session to order of this ceremonial meeting.
With the gavel officially passing from Palestine to the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu, who sits as chair on behalf of Guyana, says this year the group has to work on enhancing its image. Listing what he described as a plethora of challenges, climate change, poverty and hunger to name a few, Prime Minister Nagamutu said 2020 is a significant year and will test the core of the G77.
Excellency, as we meet today, the international situation gives increasing cause for concern. Notwithstanding the Paris Agreement and SDGs, many developing countries continue to grapple with a plethora of grave challenges with respect to the ravages caused by climate change, poverty, hunger, and disease. There is a deepening trust deficit in multilateralism, as well as inadequate means of implementation, including financing, trade, technology transfer, and capacity building. On the other hand, 2020 is already full of significant undertakings and challenges that will sternly test the mettle of our group. It will be easily evident, therefore, that nothing short of a strong, credible, and focused G77 will enable us to be equal to the demands of our time.
Prime Minister Nagamootoo underscored that as the largest negotiating bloc within the United Nations, the G77 is strong as it is united.
As a large group, our circumstances, realities, and experiences vary greatly, but we will continue to use our diversity as a source of strength. The world needs a strong United Nations and a strong G77.
The Group of 77 and China is a coalition of 135 developing nations designed to promote its members' collective economic interest and create an enhanced joint negotiating capacity in the United Nations. Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
Meantime, Guyana's chairmanship of the G77 has received full support from member countries.
As the Group of 77, G77 and China met for the formal handing over of the 2020 chairmanship from Palestine to Guyana, Venezuela accused Palestine of breaching procedures in advancing the candidacy of Guyana for chairmanship of the G77. The Venezuela foreign minister told the meeting President Nicolas Maduro raised an objection. However, that objection was met with silence as no other member country supported Venezuela's claim. Groups from Latin and Central America, Asia, Africa, and the Pacific all endorsed Guyana's chairmanship and pledged their support. India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Argentina, and Lebanon also sounded their support.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I congratulate the Cooperative Republic of Guyana for its election as chair of the Group of 77 and China, and look forward to continue engaging with the newly elected chair and members of the group throughout the resumed session. Guyana's leadership will be critical to preserving and preventing and advancing the interests of the Group of 77 and China and progressing all elements of the development agenda.
I also congratulate Guyana as it assumes the presidency for the coming year and wish to assure you of the continued support of the Secretariat and of my office.
In the meantime, as Palestine passed the chairmanship of the G77 to Guyana, the country's Foreign Affairs and Expatriates Minister Riyad al-Maliki expressed his confidence in Guyana's ability to chair the G77 China group.
The state of Palestine received the baton from Egypt and today passes the baton to Guyana, embodying the uninterrupted chain of a joint endeavor that started 55 years ago and that is more relevant today than ever.
Mr. al-Maliki reiterated that the group stands together and its unity is not merely a slogan but a rare value. Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
The Department of Energy says Guyanese from all walks of life will be able to see firsthand the historic first oil that was retrieved from the country's first oil production vessel, the Liza Destiny, in December 2019. ExxonMobil Guyana and its partners Hess and Sinnoc, in partnership with the Department of Culture and Youth, under the auspices of the Department of Energy and the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission of the Ministry of Natural Resources, will launch a new exhibit this Friday. Guyana's first oil exhibit will be open to the public at the Guyana National Museum in Georgetown from this Friday, January 17, 2020. There will also be a firework display by the Guyana Defense Force supported by ExxonMobil on Friday night at 10:30 p.m. on the seawalls at Kitty Foreshore in Georgetown. The public is invited to attend both events and to include themselves and their loved ones into this historic moment with a selfie competition, which will run from January 17 till February 11. When we return, old age, invalidity, and minimum pension rates increased, and regional administrations to take up bigger roles in decade of development. Details of these stories and more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Old age pension, invalidity, and minimum pensions have been increased significantly, and pensioners will be enjoying the additional funds come February 1.
Effective from January 1, The minimum rates for old age and invalidity pensions have been increased from $32,100 to $35,000 per month. Increase in minimum survivor's pension from $16,050 to $17,500 per month. Also effective from January 1, the monthly insurable earnings ceiling has been increased from $256,800 to $280,000 per month. And the weekly insurable earnings ceilings increased from $59,262 to $64,615 per week. Public Relations Officer of the National Insurance Scheme, Diane Baxter, explained that due to the increases in the insurable earnings ceiling, persons making claims for their NIS benefits will be paid at a higher rate. She is calling on persons to ensure they submit their life certificates in a timely manner to ensure efficient bank payments.
We have a statutory date that we send all pensions to the bank, and that's the 22nd of every month. And so you have to ensure that your life certificate is in at NIS by the 10th in order to catch the same month.
Payments will be made on February 1. For InfoHub, Ayana George.
Minister of Communities, the Honorable Ronald Bolkan, said regional administrations will have greater responsibilities in delivering the good life to Guyanese during this decade of development.
The forward-thinking, people-centered 10-year development plan introduced by His Excellency President David Granger will guide the work program of each administrative region. Minister Bolkan was delivering remarks at the opening of a two-day action roundtable for regional development at the Arthur Chung Convention Center Thursday morning.
It is aimed at ensuring that the imminent fiscal expansion due to petroleum production results in tangible benefit to each citizen. The Decade of Development Plan has four main pillars, these being governance, environment, social security, social services, and security.
Minister Bolkan said the roles of the regions will be critical in the implementation of the plan, especially since programs listed for major overhaul, education, health, and infrastructure are also administered by the regions.
The plan accords the highest priority to public education. The educational objective will be to ensure that every child attends school and that every child matriculates from secondary school. Moreover, the region would have an important role to play in the plan for public health, which would see the extension of universal primary health care. It is envisaged that every citizen, as far as practicable, and, as the President says, in the fullness of time, will be able to access health services within a 15-mile radius of their residence.
The Action Roundtable 2020 is being held under the theme Advancing Local Government through Enhanced Collaboration for Effective Service Delivery in a Green Economy and is being attended by officials from the 10 administrative regions. For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Competing in the Carib Soca Monarch competition can be stressful for anyone, even the favorites. And no one knows this better than the persevering Michelle Big Red King.
With over 20 years in the music industry, Michelle Big Red King has made a name for herself. But the question still remains, how did she rise to such fame? And who better to tell us than the Soca Queen herself?
I used to sing with Mischievous Guys Band, and I was a soul singer when I started singing. And after I started singing with the band, I started to do soca. But my biggest inspiration was Alison Hines and Denise Bellafont. Those were my inspirations when it came to soca. And they inspired me to do soca. But I gotta say the band, Mischievous Guys Band, inspired me to do soca because it brought out something in me that I never knew I had. Because I ventured out into doing not just soul, but doing reggae, dancehall. They brought out all the different genres in myself that I didn't know I had. So I would say the band, Mischievous Guys Band.
Michelle acknowledges the highs and lows of her career, but thanks God for the opportunities.
I think as a female artist, it was pretty challenging. It was trying, but I think because of the person that I am, I don't give up. As long as I know I'm doing something that's positive, I fight for what I want and I represent for what I want. And I don't take no for an answer. I go and I get what I want to get and I get it done. So I don't take no. I don't take no for an answer.
To this date, she has competed in several Carib Soca Monarch competitions, placed third in 2005 and was crowned queen in 2006. In 2008, she won the Mashimani Road March with the hit song On the Road Again. And in November that same year, she rose above other nominees and captured the Accolades Award for the Best Female Groovy Soca Single at the Accolades Music Awards of Guyana. She was the first runner-up in the 2011 Groovy Soca Monarch. Apart from her music career, Michelle is also an active member in several women organizations in an effort to empower women to enhance their lives. Neola Damon, InfoHub.
As we prepare for elections on March 2, if you haven't done so as yet, check to ensure your name is on the revised list of electors. Voting is your democratic right. That's all for today. Connect with us on all our social media platforms, including WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Much more news is on our website, dpi.gov.gy. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye for now.